Hi guys, my name is David Nyako and I'm here to make my presentation on smoking as a risk factor for lung cancer in women and men, systematic review and meta-analysis. This is just a presentation of somebody's work. The reference will be at the end. Alright, so smoking as a risk factor for lung cancer in women and men. There you go, that's your reference. So background for this research work. So these researchers found out that lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death worldwide, with about 1.7 million global deaths attributed to cigarette smoking in 2015. Also, they found out tobacco using is a leading cause of lung cancer. In addition, smoking behavior varies significantly by sex. This is all some of the research that they found. A study of 50-year trends in smoking related mortality in the US also revealed that relative rates of smoking-related lung cancer mortality were higher in men than women. So, however, virtually all data from historical case control studies, which have several limitations, and three included prospective studies, provided contrary results. To resolve this uncertainty, these researchers um, performed systematic review and meta-analysis of a lot of cohort studies that have been published on sex-specific associations of smoking and lung cancer. Alright, so objectives of this study to investigate a sex-specific association between smoking and lung cancer. Study design. The study design of these researchers was to review and meta-analysis of several studies specific or related to the topic of interest. So eligibility criteria for selecting studies, what kind of studies, what qualified to be part of their studies. So cohort studies reporting the sex-specific relative risk of lung cancer associated with smoking was the choice for review for these researchers. Set strategy. This researchers' review was conducted using a predefined protocol in accordance to meta-analysis of observational studies in epidemiology guidelines. They systematically searched PubMed and Embase for studies published between 1 January 1999 and 15 April 2016. Articles published before 1 January 1999 were retrieved from a previous systematic review. Alright, so these journals are those that reported on the relationship between smoking and lung cancer in men and women. Data extraction. So data from studies deemed to meet eligibility criteria. Data were extracted in duplicate from studies that deemed to meet the eligibility criteria. These included details on general study characteristics such as study name, duration, follow-up, year of publication, and etc. Also information about the study population, that is prevalence of smoking, mean age, number of men and women. They extracted sex-specific adjusted measures of relative race and 95% confidence intervals. Study selection. Observational cohort studies were included in this study if they reported sex-specific relative risks or equivalent on the relationship between smoking and lung cancer. Studies that were excluded were those whose variability around the point estimate was not reported. In the case of duplicate reports from the same study, the reports with the longest follow-up or higher number of cases was included. Primary analysis was comprising of sex-specific relative risk of lung cancer, that is fatal and non-fatal in current smokers versus non-smokers, which they define as former or never smokers. Alright, so the differences were pooled across studies using random effects and meta-analysis. Predefined subgroup analysis were also conducted to obtain adjusted um, relative race ratios by study region. So Asia, non-Asia, Europe, USA, Australia, New Zealand, and also the year of study based on different years. Secondary analysis was also obtained by the sex-specific relative ratios. So for the result, out of the 950, out of the 9,519 unique records that were identified through the systematic search, 227 qualified for full text evaluation. Data from 29 studies representing 99 cohort studies, that is 7 million individuals and over 50,000 incident lung cancer cases were included. 18 studies reported on the prevalence of smoking, which varied widely by study region and sex. Prevalence of smoking ranged from 1% to 47% in women, from 1% to 70% in men. Still on the result, the sex-specific relative ratios and their ratio comparing women with men were pooled using random effect meta-analysis. The pooled multiple adjusted lung cancer relative rate was 6.99 with a 95% confidence interval in women and 7.33 in men. The pooled ratio of relative rates was 0.92 at a 95% confidence interval. Alright, so risk of lung cancer in current smokers versus non-smokers. Comparing smokers with non-smokers, current smoking was associated with an age-adjusted relative risk of lung cancer of 7.48 at a 95% confidence interval in women and 8.78 in men. The sex difference in the risk of smoking-related lung cancer in the main analysis of this research did not differ in subgroup analysis, which was stratified by women to women ratio of current smokers, women to men ratio of lung cancer incidence in the studies, or year of study baseline. The risk of smoking-related lung cancer increased according to the number of cigarettes smoked per day in both sexes. That is some of the results this research has got. In women, the relative rates were 5.3 at a 95% confidence interval, 10.67 and 17.09 across subgroups. So we're talking about risks of lung cancer in current smokers versus non-smokers. The risk of smoking-related lung cancer increased according to the number of cigarettes smoked per day in both sexes, according to these researchers. They also found that in women, the relative risks were 5.3, 10.67, and 17.09 across subgroups, and cigarettes per day versus non-smoking respectively. Risk of lung cancer in former smokers versus never smokers. That's a continuation. So they also found that the age-adjusted relative risk of lung cancer associated with former smoking was 2.82%, 2.82 in women and 3.0 in men. The corresponding multiple adjusted relative rates were 3.14 in women and 3.13 in men. There was no statistical evidence that the effect of smoking cessation on risk of lung cancer differed between the sexes. The multiple adjusted relative risk ratio was 0.89 All right. So conclusion. What did these researchers conclude? In their conclusion of this meta-analysis, they summarize all available literature to date, showing that the effect of smoking on risk of lung cancer is similar in women and men. However, these data may yet underestimate the true relative risk of smoking-related lung cancer in women, given later uptake and lower intensity of smoking in women. Although strides have been made in reducing smoking rates, particularly in high-income countries, continuing efforts to measure the effects of smoking on disease outcomes are required, as the smoking epidemic has not yet reached its global peak. In addition, tobacco control programs that dissuade both sexes from smoking, but which also encourage individuals to quit, remain a priority. Some of the strengths and limitations of this study. First, the strength. Evidence on the sex-specific association of smoking and lung cancer was meta-analyzed in over 7 million participants across 99 cohort studies. That's a wide range of population. Several subgroup analyses were also performed to examine the robustness of findings across different population subgroups. For some of the limitations, the smoking epidemic is not yet fully mature in women, and rates of lung cancer in women may still be underestimated from other researches that they reviewed. Detailed data on smoking behavior and data on specific subtitles or subtypes of lung cancer were not available for these researchers to review and make it part of their research. All right, so this brings my presentation to an end, and the reference is right here. Thank you. Bye.